I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me.
Hollywood, a glittering facade concealing a labyrinth of secrets, where whispers hold more power than press releases, and scandals can detonate with the force of a summer blockbuster. This time, the epicenter of the explosion is Blake Lively. Once the darling of red carpets and magazine covers, she now finds herself engulfed in a tempest of accusations, her pristine image fracturing under the weight of public scrutiny. But this isn't just another fleeting celebrity squabble destined for the gossip columns. This drama is interwoven with the tantalizing thread of leaked Marvel secrets, a perceived betrayal of studio trust so profound it allegedly triggered the unthinkable, the abrupt dismissal of Ryan Reynolds, her own husband, and the comedic linchpin of Marvel's superhero universe. And as if the career carnage weren't dramatic enough, the digital town square is roaring, with influential voices like Joe Rogan leading a chorus of public mockery, dissecting and deriding Blake Lively for what many perceive as a spectacular, self-inflicted Hollywood implosion. Brace yourself, because this narrative plunges deep into the shadowy underbelly of fame, the corrosive nature of power, and the perilous game of secrets that Hollywood desperately tries to keep locked away from prying eyes.
People care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
The news detonated across the digital landscape, a seismic jolt felt throughout the entertainment industry. Ryan Reynolds fired, Deadpool franchise in utter chaos. Initially, the shockwaves centered on the unbelievable dismissal of a beloved star, but with each passing hour, the narrative twisted, morphing into something far more complex and accusatory. The focus sharpened, homing in on Blake Lively and the nebulous but intensely intriguing concept of alleged Marvel secrets being compromised. Reports initially cautious grew bolder, suggesting Blake's actions on a seemingly unrelated film project had somehow ensnared Ryan, and more critically, threatened the sanctity of Marvel's meticulously crafted public persona. The implication was incendiary. Had Blake Lively, either through calculated intent or unforeseen recklessness, divulged or manipulated confidential Marvel information in a manner that catastrophically backfired, not only jeopardizing her husband's iconic role, but unleashing a public relations maelstrom of epic proportions. The enigmatic phrase Marvel secrets became the dominant talking point, a whispered shorthand for a deeper, more insidious form of Hollywood treachery, hinting at a clandestine world of studio espionage and celebrity miscalculation.
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, you know, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's what I'm grateful for.
The unassuming backdrop to this unfolding drama was the set of Justin Baldoni's latest film, a project where Blake Lively held a prominent starring role, a world ostensibly detached from the superhero spectacle of Marvel. In the initial publicity blitz, all appeared harmonious, a picture of Hollywood professionalism and creative collaboration. Yet beneath the glossy veneer of set photos and carefully curated interviews, dissenting accounts began to surface, painting a contrasting picture of growing discord. Whispers circulated, not just of typical on-set disagreements, but of Blake's escalating dissatisfaction morphing into something more calculated, more strategic. Rumors gaining traction with each new leak suggested Blake was allegedly attempting to wield undue influence, subtly leveraging Ryan's towering Marvel stature, even intimating access to privileged studio information, these Marvel secrets, as a means to exert her will and secure preferential treatment on the Baldoni production. The insidious notion that Blake might have been attempting to trade on Marvel secrets, even if those secrets were merely implied connections or perceived insider knowledge to gain leverage in a project entirely outside the Marvel Cinematic Universe, began to solidify in the public imagination. This perception, regardless of its factual accuracy, painted a damning portrait of a starlet weaponizing her husband's superhero cachet, a high-stakes gamble that allegedly enraged studio executives fiercely protective of their closely guarded intellectual property and corporate dominion.
That ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of two people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious. Right. Either you got the job or there's something wrong. Yeah. And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what? Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
The narrative took a decisively darker turn with the emergence of purportedly leaked text message exchanges. These weren't simply mundane complaints about catering or call times. They became the accelerant for the burgeoning Marvel Secrets conflagration. Certain interpretations of these cryptic messages suggested Blake was not merely mentioning Ryan in passing, but actively proposing he utilize his formidable Marvel connections to subtly shape media narratives surrounding her independent film endeavor. The increasingly prevalent theory posited that Ryan, possibly at Blake's urging, or with at least tacit awareness, might have contemplated exploiting his privileged insider position within Marvel to sway influential entertainment outlets in Blake's favor, allegedly dangling the tantalizing prospect of exclusive content or early scoops on upcoming Deadpool developments as a quid pro quo for favorable press coverage. While the precise nature of these purported secrets remained frustratingly vague, the very implication of strategically leveraging Marvel's internal operations, of potentially bartering confidential studio information for personal or familial gain, became the festering core of the burgeoning scandal. These leaked text fragments, irrespective of whether they definitively revealed actual secrets or merely hinted at the potential for their strategic deployment, swiftly transformed into Exhibit A in the rapidly escalating court of public opinion, fueling the firestorm of speculation and condemnation.
I mean, I internalized that as opportunity. Like, we had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Yes.
As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much rather have that than people who are indifferent.
Blase.
For the monolithic entity that is Marvel Studios, the very suggestion of compromised secrets, of their meticulously controlled information ecosystem being potentially exploited for personal agendas, reportedly triggered a visceral, almost draconian response. Marvel, a corporate titan built upon a foundation of impenetrable secrecy, meticulously orchestrates every carefully calculated reveal, rigorously manages every sanctioned rumor, and fiercely guards every morsel of internal intelligence that risks escaping into the voracious public domain. The mere notion that Marvel secrets, however loosely defined or vaguely implied, might have been jeopardized or even just threatened with exposure by an individual intimately connected to their flagship billion-dollar franchise sent shockwaves of alarm and corporate fury through the studio's executive suites, protecting their meticulously cultivated brand image, safeguarding their fiercely defended intellectual property, and above all, fortifying their metaphorical vault of closely guarded secrets became the paramount imperative. The burgeoning rumor mill, fueled by leaked texts and speculative interpretations, suggested Ryan, even tangentially or unknowingly, might have been complicit in this perceived breach of studio trust, reportedly igniting a swift and ruthlessly decisive corporate reaction, cutting ties with extreme prejudice, dispatching an unambiguous message throughout Hollywood. No individual, irrespective of box office draw or fan adoration, is deemed larger or more sacrosanct than the impenetrable fortress of the Marvel Vault.
And being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being, being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make us human. That's it. It's very simple.
Into this volatile mix of Hollywood scandal and corporate retribution strode Joe Rogan, the podcasting titan and cultural commentator renowned for his unfiltered opinions and penchant for dissecting societal controversies with unapologetic candor. Rogan, never one to shy away from contentious topics or temper his pronouncements with political correctness, reportedly pounced upon the Blake Lively imbroglio with characteristic bluntness, injecting his signature brand of sardonic humor into the already inflamed public discourse. Envision Rogan, microphone in hand, holding court on his immensely popular podcast, meticulously dissecting the unfolding situation with a mixture of incredulity and amusement. So Blake Lively, right? America's sweetheart, they called her? Turns out maybe not so saccharine sweet behind the gilded gates of Hollywood. The scuttlebutt is she was trying to play some kind of high-stakes Hollywood chess match, foolishly thinking she could leverage these so-called Marvel secrets. Whatever the heck those even star in this convoluted mess. Like, hey, I'm connected to Deadpool, bend to my will, or face the consequences. Classic Hollywood privilege gone completely off the rails, folks. And then, the karmic punchline. Bam! Gets her own husband summarily fired. Honestly, you couldn't concoct a more ludicrous scenario if you hired a team of Hollywood scriptwriters. Rogan's imagined but entirely plausible public mockery and the cacophony of similar dissenting voices echoing across the digital sphere served to amplify the already intense public shaming of Blake Lively, effectively transforming her into a potent symbol of unchecked Hollywood entitlement, a cautionary figure embodying the perils of overreaching ambition and perceived hubris. The potent leaking secrets narrative, now amplified by Rogan's influential platform and countless online commentators, rapidly morphed into comedic fodder for late-night television monologues and viral meme generators, further cementing Blake's rapidly deteriorating public image as the architect of her own, and arguably her husband's, spectacular Hollywood downfall.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix
and
of
it's
both.
like, yeah, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like, you know, kind of like my outfit, I guess.
Ryan Reynolds, once seemingly impervious to Hollywood's capricious winds of fortune, became unforeseen collateral damage in the escalating Marvel Secrets fallout. His abrupt termination from the Deadpool franchise was widely interpreted by industry observers and fervent fans alike as a direct and unavoidable consequence of Blake's alleged missteps and the perceived betrayal of Marvel's fiercely guarded corporate trust. While Ryan now grappled with the immediate professional ramifications of his career upheaval, facing a disconcerting landscape of uncertainty and jeopardized projects, Blake confronted something arguably even more corrosive and enduring: unrelenting public shaming. The vast and often unforgiving expanse of the internet, fueled by the sensationalized, leaked secrets narrative and amplified by the influential derision of figures like Joe Rogan, collectively turned its judgmental gaze upon her. She swiftly morphed into the primary target of countless memes, scathing online critiques, and accusatory pronouncements, vilified for everything ranging from manipulative backstage tactics to unchecked Hollywood hubris and perceived spousal sabotage. Her once meticulously cultivated, impeccably polished public image, painstakingly constructed over years of strategic red carpet appearances and carefully managed interviews, was now irrevocably tarnished, replaced by a pervasive public perception of a calculating starlet who had recklessly attempted to game the treacherous Hollywood system too aggressively, potentially even sacrificing her husband's hard-earned career on the altar of her own perceived ambition. The insidious whispers of Marvel Secrets, whether rooted in verifiable fact or sensationalized speculation, had not only cost Ryan his iconic role, but seemingly, and perhaps more devastatingly, Blake her carefully curated reputation and public standing.
The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
As the initial shockwaves of this Hollywood earthquake begin to subside, a central, tantalizing question persists, lingering in the air like unanswered studio memos. What precisely were these elusive Marvel secrets that purportedly triggered such a cataclysmic Hollywood implosion? Were they tangible pieces of confidential intellectual property, actual concrete plot details for upcoming Marvel projects, insider knowledge of closely guarded marketing strategies and release dates, or something far more nebulous, more reliant on insinuation and perceived threat, merely the perception of insider knowledge being strategically leveraged, a bluff called in a high-stakes Hollywood poker game? The very ambiguity and frustrating vagueness surrounding the true nature of these secrets only serves to deepen the pervasive intrigue and amplify the lingering scandal. Did Blake genuinely believe she could effectively utilize her indirect connection to the Marvel behemoth to gain a strategic advantage in her own career trajectory? Did Ryan knowingly and willingly participate in any of these alleged maneuvers, or was he, as some reports suggest, genuinely blindsided by the ensuing corporate fallout and public recriminations? And crucially, did Marvel Studios in retrospect overreact with such drastic and career-ending decisiveness, or was their seemingly draconian action absolutely necessary to unequivocally protect their multi-billion-dollar empire from even the faintest hint of compromise compromised confidentiality and perceived betrayal. The conspicuous absence of concrete details definitively elucidating the true nature of these Marvel secrets deliberately leaves ample room for endless online conjecture, fervent fan theorizing, and persistent industry speculation, effectively ensuring this multifaceted Hollywood drama and the accompanying public mockery directed at Blake Lively will continue to reverberate throughout the entertainment landscape for a considerable duration to come. In the immediate aftermath of his Hollywood execution, as the internet raged and Blake faced a tsunami of public condemnation, the spotlight inevitably swung back to Ryan Reynolds. Stripped of his iconic role, his professional future cast into shadow, the question reverberated throughout the industry: what would be Ryan's next move? Would the once untouchable comedic titan simply fade into Hollywood obscurity, another casualty of a brutal behind-the-scenes power struggle? Or would he, in true Deadpool fashion, stage a spectacular against-all-odds comeback? Whispers began to circulate, carried on the Hollywood grapevine and amplified by online speculation, hinting at potential counter-strategies brewing within Ryan's camp. Rumors emerged of intense closed-door meetings with his inner circle, strategizing a path towards professional resurrection. Some speculated that Ryan might be preparing a calculated public response, a carefully orchestrated interview designed to reclaim his narrative, to subtly distance himself from Blake's alleged actions, and to appeal directly to the heartbroken fan base he had cultivated over years of witty online engagement and charismatic screen presence. More tantalizingly, whispers intensified regarding the possibility of Ryan possessing his own trove of evidence, perhaps his own cache of text messages, emails, or communications that could potentially exonerate him from any complicity in Blake's alleged manipulations and, crucially, directly contradict Marvel's official narrative. The tantalizing prospect of a Ryan Reynolds bombshell, a carefully curated release of information designed to shift public perception and pressure Marvel into a dramatic reversal, began to dominate industry chatter. Would Ryan, known for his self-deprecating humor and strategic media savvy, attempt to weaponize public opinion, leveraging the immense goodwill he had built with fans to force Marvel's hand and orchestrate a Hollywood redemption story for the ages? The entertainment world held its breath, poised to witness whether the once-fired Deadpool could transform from victim to victor, potentially unleashing a counterstrike that would further ignite the already explosive Hollywood landscape. Beyond the immediate personal and professional wreckage left in the wake of this scandal, the Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds saga sent reverberations throughout the entirety of 2000 Hollywood, prompting a wider industry reckoning on the precarious balance of power, the corrosive nature of unchecked ambition, and the increasingly exorbitant price of fame in the digital age. The scandal served as a stark, cautionary tale about the fragility of celebrity reputations, demonstrating with brutal clarity how swiftly, meticulously crafted public images can be shattered by a cascade of leaked information and a relentless tide of online judgment. It forced a critical reevaluation of the unspoken rules of Hollywood engagement, highlighting the heightened risks associated with leveraging personal relationships and perceived insider influence in an industry fiercely protective of its secrets and corporate hierarchies. The affair prompted studios across town to re-examine their crisis management protocols, to tighten their grip on internal information control, and to reassess their relationships with high-profile talent, particularly in an era where social media pronouncements and leaked private communications can ignite global firestorms with unprecedented speed and ferocity. Furthermore, the scandal ignited a broader industry conversation about the evolving dynamics of power within Hollywood, the shifting balance between studios and stars, the growing influence of public opinion fueled by social media, and the ethical implications of leveraging personal connections and perceived insider knowledge for professional gain. The Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds debacle, amplified by the public mockery and relentless online scrutiny, transcended mere celebrity gossip. It morphed into a potent symbol of Hollywood's inherent contradictions, a stark reminder that even in the glittering realm of fame and fortune, the pursuit of power and the seductive allure of secrets can ultimately lead to devastating and unforeseen consequences, leaving lasting scars on both individual careers and the very fabric of the industry itself. Within the dazzling, often deceptive realm of Hollywood, the precarious line separating authentic power from carefully constructed perception remains perpetually razor thin and easily transgressed. Blake Lively's alleged precipitous downfall, ignited by the tantalizing whispers of leaked Marvel secrets, and amplified by the pervasive public mockery spearheaded by influential figures like Joe Rogan, serves as a stark and unsettling cautionary narrative for the contemporary celebrity ecosystem, regardless of whether she demonstrably divulged genuinely confidential studio information or simply became a convenient scapegoat within a far more intricate and opaque Hollywood power struggle. The reputational damage inflicted is undeniable and potentially irreversible. This unfolding scandal chillingly underscores the almost paranoid level of secrecy and information control endemic to the modern entertainment industry, and the brutally swift and unforgiving consequences meted out to those perceived to have transgressed established boundaries and violated unspoken codes of confidentiality. Blake Lively, once universally admired and effortlessly glamorous, now confronts a profound public image crisis, inextricably linked in the collective imagination to the nebulous Marvel Secrets scandal and the relentless tide of online mockery it unleashed. In a town perpetually fueled by image management and whispered insinuations, this unfolding Hollywood meltdown poignantly demonstrates that even the most incandescent stars can be abruptly eclipsed by the encroaching shadows of perceived betrayal, particularly when the sacrosanct vault of Marvel Secrets is even remotely hinted at being breached. And as for the pervasive public mockery, spearheaded by voices like Joe Rogan and amplified across the digital sphere, it serves as a stark, contemporary reminder that in the hyper-connected age of the internet, no Hollywood scandal remains confined to hushed backrooms and clandestine studio meetings. Public opinion, exponentially amplified by influential voices and instantaneous global dissemination, can swiftly transform into the most implacable and unforgiving judge of all, capable of reshaping reputations and irrevocably altering career trajectories with breathtaking speed and devastating finality.